Hello guys, in this tutorial I will be showing you 3 different ways of how you can pass props to your components, and to demonstrate that we're gonna make 2 components here. So we're gonna make a about component and contact. So this is only gonna have an h1, and we're gonna copy this, and we're gonna make another component called contact. Okay, so let's also go to CSS just to add some basic styles so we can see these 2 sections. So let's remove this. And then we're going to add a different background for our about section and for our context section. And those are all the styles we need. So let's go to our app and let's import both components we made, so about and contact here. And we also want to render both of those components here. So now it's easier to see them. And we're gonna make 2 states here. One is gonna be for our name and one is gonna be for our, let's say, a number. But before that we need to import 2 states. So there are 2 states, one for the name and one for the number. So let's say we want to pass a name to about page and we want to pass a number to a contact. So how we pass states here is this first variable is how we're going to import it. I usually call it the same way, and then inside curly braces is the thing you want to send. So in our case we want to send name here. So everything that goes inside curly braces is the value you want to send. In our case, the state, if we have functions, that's going to be here. This name could be anything. I just like to call it the same because you are not going to get confused of what prop you are sending. Like, for example, if you name this test, like you have no idea what test is if you want to use it in another component. That's why I like to keep it with the same name. And for this one, I want to send a number. So if we go to about page, we're sending the prop called name. So there are multiple ways of how you can access the props here. The first way is passing props here and then using props.name here to access that. And that's going to give us John. But for example, if we also send a number to our about, we can make another h1 and do props.number. And then we're gonna get John and 99. But as you can see, this is fine if you have like few props. I would say this is the last way I'm using. I usually use the other two ways, and I'll show you that in a second, but I wanted to cover this way as well. But as you can see, they're repeating props.name, props.number, and like I said, we have only two props right now, like name and number, but imagine we had 20 of these. So we would do like props.last name, props.title, and it's getting repetitive. So a better way of doing that, if you have multiple values, this is, like I said, this is fine if you have few values, but let's say you had like 10 values you're getting here. So you can destructure it here. So we want to grab our name, and we also want to grab our number, and we can destructure it here and set that equal to our props. So now instead of passing props.name, we can only use name, and instead of passing props.number, we can only use number. So we can remove props completely from here. So that would be another way of how you can use it. So you pass props here, then you destructure it here, you got all the values you want. In our case, you only have 2 values, but imagine we had like 10 values. So you would do everything here, set that equal to props, and then you don't need to use the props keyword here anywhere. You can just use any of these you passed in. So that's my second favorite way of doing it, and the way I'm always doing it, unless you have a lot of props, maybe let's say you have, I don't know, 6 or 7 props max. The way how I will do it, we can remove this completely, remove props, and actually we can destructure it here inside parentheses. So we would add curly braces here, and we can already grab the values we want, in our case name and number. And let me reload the page. And we're gonna get the same exact output like this. So we're sending name and number to about page, and instead of passing props, we are already destructuring it here and getting the values we want. So as you can see, this is my favorite way of doing it, unless you have like, I don't know, 10-20 props, because this could get messy if you have plenty of them. But for few props, this is probably the best way of doing it in my opinion. And then once I have a lot of props, for example, if we had 20 of these, I would pass props here, and then I would destructure the values here. And then let's say we had name number a few more times. And then you would set that equal to props. So if you have like plenty of these, you would do it this way, in my opinion, but if you have few of them, you can destructure it here straight away. Let's get back to what we have. Then another example. So let's say we have another state inside the about, and let's call that color. Just set that to red. And we need to import useState. So if you only plan to have this color state inside the about page, or the components that go inside the about, you can keep it here. So for example, if you wanted to display that color here, so as you can see, that's completely fine. Maybe we had about info component that goes into about, we can send that as a prop, everything works fine. But what if, for example, we decide that we need to use this color prop inside our contact component? Having it like this, it's not going to allow us to do that, because our contact is imported only inside the app. We don't have contact anywhere in about, so there's no way of us sending the color prop to that contact page. So instead of doing it here, if you need to use it on multiple components, as in this example, we want to send that color to our contact page and also to about. So every time you have that case, you don't want to do it here. So you would definitely do this if you only need to use that state in that component. or components that go inside about. But if you need to pass this state to multiple components, instead of adding it here, you would add it inside the app. And then we can easily send that color to both our about and our content. We can also send the color here. And then if we go to about, we need to get the value here. As you can see, it's red, but if we go to content now, we can get the same value here. So we can get the color again. And then let's just display it under this. And there it is, we get the red again. If this content was going into about page, like if we imported content here, it's still fine to have the state here because you're gonna sending it to those components. But like I said, if you need to send it to multiple components, in our case here, we want to use it in about and in content, you would always have your state in top level component, on in our case app, and then send that state to whichever component you need to use it in. And that would be it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.